Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first EU Showmatch of Learning Fives this session. I am Lol Tiersona, and I am joined here by Can Opener Dude. How are you doing today?
I'm excited that there's 5 bands. That makes me happy.
Yeah, and we have a spectator client and an overlay that is set up for 5 bands now. We had a little fiesta yesterday with that, but yeah, nice new
Exciting.
Overlay.
Yeah.
You can see the bands for once. It's nice.
There's even a big old quit spectating button in the middle there.
Yeah, very appealing.
All right, so League of Legends here. We've got Team My Eyes REEE versus Team Taco Bell. I think that Taco Bell has an E at the end.
It's Taco Bell eSports, yes.
Yes.
And the Zaya and Ivern band coming out from My Eyes REEE, and the Gangplank and Zack band from Taco Bell eSports. Pretty powerhouse standard bands, except for the GP maybe?
Well, these are all things that they would have gotten from their opponent's OP.GG stats, because I've looked at them myself, and these are all pretty much exactly what's on the OP.GG. So they're probably just throwing out the bands or the champions that are at the top of the win percentage rating for their opponents right now. Lulu, obviously, you want to ban that out no matter who you're facing. But
like,
other than that,
perma-ban that.
Mm.
Ari, a little bit of another unusual ban. Is that a target ban as well?
I believe it actually is. For
I mean, Ari is definitely a strong pick, but definitely not like, prioritized. As the Karma first pick taken, and with Lulu off the table, that's narrowed the support pool by, the top tier supports already, right?
Yeah, it's definitely narrowed the picks down considerably. That's the advantage of the 10-ban system, is allowing such a narrowing that allows us to get and see a more varied champion selection. So it's very exciting to see how that's going to progress there.
Yeah. And Thresh with a Caitlyn hover that will be locked in allows for a very aggressive bot lane, and an Ashe being taken, so no real escape for that Thresh, which there's a lot of lockdown potentially with the Caitlyn and the Thresh combos.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually looking at the stats right now. Travesty, I'm not sure if he's actually the mid laner because he is at the bottom of our screen. I'm not sure if they're in LCS order, but
They are not.
he has a 5.37 KDA on RE and a 76% win ratio. So probably a good idea to ban that away.
Yeah, I would say so. And oh ship, what up is what we called him last time. Made that T a P.
I'm just gonna call him what up. What
um,
up?
yeah, what up taking the Darius again. And if I recall, last time he was in a show match, he definitely was a powerhouse. Actually, I actually remember his gangplank. That gangplank ban was for him. He had a very scary gangplank performance, so I
Yeah.
could understand why that's being banned out. As we have moved on to the second banning phase, which will be one red ban, two blue bans, and then another red ban. Oh wait, no, it'll be red ban, blue ban, and then red first pick. So Jarvan banned out, which is a bit unusual because he's not a super scary jungler, and Darius is already off the tables, so that's their top laner.
Yeah, they are banning that away from the jungler, which would be um, whoever the heck my stats tell me it is. It'd be taking a stroll, but he does have a 70% win ratio on Jungle Jarvan.
Okay.
So he's a very good Jungle Jarvan, despite the fact that it's not often played in there. And we've seen Jarvan been put to good effect no matter where he's put. Even just today in the Fnatic versus NIP game earlier today.
Wait a minute. There was an Orianna ban when Echo was already picked. Are they assuming that's a top lane Echo? Because they're taking out more mid lane champions when they haven't picked their own mid laner yet.
It's a very good question. I want to point out again that there are going to be placeholders somewhere in this draft.
Oh, are placeholders
Um,
allowed?
yes.
Okay.
So it's possible that any of these are placeholders, including the Darius, but we'll just have to see how that advances. That being said, neither team really has had that much success with the Echo, aside from Asmus, who did get it. So they have the Echo there, and I'm not really sure where the Orion is coming from, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and so double mid lane ban when that is potentially is Asmus the mid laner?
That would put him in the mid lane. They really should have been in LCS order because this is
This is a little
starting to
chaotic,
mess.
yeah, but yeah, that's two target bans in the mid lane, and with the Gnar hover, that pretty much solidifies that that is a mid lane Echo. So a lot of bans being taken out on something that wasn't even really a problem. And look what got through. Graves Jungle making it through both banning phases. And while, yes, they did get the Elise, which is a strong champion to handle the Graves, I don't know if that's something that you really would just want to kind of give up for free, really. Because that's basically
Yeah,
just
I
two
don't know.
missed bans.
I really don't know. I'm just going to assume that they decided to ban whoever the heck they wanted.
Yeah,
Because
well,
that's really all I can. That's really all I can gather from their bans, aside from the Zac, the Ari, the Zaya, and the Lulu. There's really not any rhyme or reason to them.
yeah. Something I want to point out about my eyes REE's team comp is that they have a Darius who kind of has a lot of trouble getting in there, but with the Karma speedups as well as the pick and CC his team can provide in the Elise Cocoon and the Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow, he has a lot of opportunity to get up close to a CC target, get those bleed stacks, maybe use the get the Noxian Might up, and then just go dunking everyone. So, but I mean, there's not too many melee targets for him to really like stack bleeds on, so he really just needs to go for those ulti kills and get that that penta dunk quickly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, the team comp that has been drafted by Taco Bell eSports here is singularly designed to stay away from Darius.
Mm-hmm.
So I doubt he's going to have any effect whatsoever throughout the game. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this Darius pick was not a good idea. simply because one, Darius is not good in the meta currently, and two, you picking him this early allows the enemy team to completely draft a comp around kiting around him, and that means you've just completely lost more than a fifth of your damage because Noxian Guillotine creates so many picks potential and so much damage by its own might that having it nullified so completely in the way that a Caitlyn, Echo, Gnar, and Thresh will do, and of course Graves can get away as well. So having an entire team based around not being hit by Darius basically means Darius is useless.
Yeah, and Gnar is a very solid lane into the Darius, as he can keep him poking him with the Q and then use his W in mini Gnar form to keep kiting away.
Yeah.
And he also has an escape, so even if Darius does pull him, he can just jump away. So it's a fairly solid matchup in the top lane. But if Darius does get enabled by his team, and Thresh engages incorrectly, Thresh has no way out really besides flashing. So if Thresh hooks in and Q's in, flies right into a Darius, that is basically delivering Darius the bleed stacks that he needs. So
it really is.
It's really just capitalizing on the mistakes that Taco Bell Esports will make. But if they don't make any, then that Darius will be completely nullified.
Yeah, and at this level, I would expect them not to make the kind of mistakes that would put them in a Darius's range, but we can't be 100% certain that they won't. But I imagine that at least the laning phase is going to be hell for Darius going up against a Gnar. From there, it's really going to depend on, like you said, how his team enables him and how the opponent team basically makes mistakes. But laning phase is going to be hell for him, and I think that's going to be across the board something that's going to happen here, except in the mid lane. Mid lane is kind of in favor of the Victor, simply because Echo does need to be within melee range to farm, and Victor's very good at stopping you from doing that. So I'm excited to see how Travesty plays this against the Echo. But that's other than that, I really do think that the laning phase swings in favor of Taco Bell.
Yeah. With that, we will go to a quick break right before we hop into a game, which should be in a few seconds. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We are in game with our EU Showmatch Week 1 between My Eyes REEE and Taco Bell Esports. And on REE's side, the blue team, we have Flirt Alert on support, Frupp on AD carry, Oh Ship What Up as the top lane, Taking a Stroll in the jungle, and Travesty in the mid lane. And on Taco Bell Esports side, we have Mikkelsen in the top lane, Avalonic in the jungle, Asmus in the mid lane, Jujavon at AD carry, and Valaquinta at support. And quick thing, there is currently a spectator bug where it will freeze every few seconds and we speed back up. So you're going to be seeing that throughout this series. We apologize for that, but it's Riot side, so we can't really do anything. But yeah, fairly standard start so far. I mean, no real crazy invades. There's a stack, but...
It's more of a dance party than a stack, honestly. Yeah, nothing really going down just yet. I thought they were going to cut you off in the middle of introducing the teams there, but it looks like not a whole lot happening. They're just going to go to their lanes.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to watch here is how the jungle paths diverge, because Avalonic is going to be starting at his Raptors. However, taking a stroll in the jungle is going to take a stroll in the jungle from his red buff, most likely over to his blue immediately. So we'll have to see how these jungle paths converge and separate as the two junglers go about their early game clears, because this could definitely mean some diverging ganks as well.
Yeah, and We definitely want to keep an eye on this top lane, as Darius does have a lot of, a bit of a rough lane against Gnar, but there definitely is opportunity for him to get ahead. And really, this Darius kind of being able to be enabled or being completely useless is kind of what's going to be the story of this game.
Yeah, that's definitely what's going to control most of it, though again, I am going to highlight Travesty's Victor in the mid lane. From what I can tell, this is going to be the center point of REEE's team comp beyond the Darius, doing tons of damage, is going to be Travesty being able to do Travesty things in the mid lane.
Yeah. And I mean, he's into a melee matchup, and while Echo does have a lot of wave clear, if Travesty positions really safely, he could definitely poke him out and potentially bully him out of this lane. And we're kind of seeing that already.
Gonna be interesting.
I mean, there's a decent health advantage. Echo already having to use one pot and pretty chunked out. In the top side, it looks like there's some jungle shenanigans going on. Nothing really coming of it, though, since red buff is already gone. I want to mention Avalonix clear. It looks a bit untraditional, as he's only taken 2 camps so far, correct?
Well, yes. However, what we can see here is that the reason he did that is he expected an early invade from taking a stroll, which is exactly what happened. So he wanted to start on his red side to be sure of that, and he stuck around on his red side so that he could spot out taking a stroll, see exactly how many minions he had taken, how much experience he had gained, and where he was going to go next. That allows Avalonic to then immediately head back over to his blue side and begin taking that side as well, safe in the knowledge that taking a stroll will not be able to follow him over there.
Yeah, and so far we see a little bit of an interesting thing happening in the top side. Oh, as there is a slight engage in the bottom lane. Nothing really coming from that though. But the Gnar is kind of being pressured out a little bit, and Darius is actually building up a somewhat significant CS lead already. 22 CS to 16, and even more minions on his side, or for him to take.
Yeah, this is a bit strange because Gnar should be winning this lane. However, he did hit level 4 now.
Oh, taking a stroll, getting really low. Flash is being used, and auto camera going crazy, but it looks like he's getting out. Avalonic getting really low, and in the top lane, Michelson is getting really low. Those 5 bleed stacks ticking on him will not get him to mega form yet, so he's not going to get that extra health back.
That will though.
Yeah, and so he should be safe in lane, but we definitely need to keep an eye out. Because once the Darius gets that Noxie and Guillotine, that's going to be a lot of added kill pressure in this laning matchup. And neither flashes were used, so we can definitely see some outplays in that lane.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting dynamic that's developing in the top lane here because, like we've been harping on, the Gnar should be winning, but he's not.
Well, I can speak from experience in watching this lane played out before. If Darius somehow gets any lead whatsoever, it actually can become pretty oppressive for the Gnar. As Gnar doesn't have, ridiculously high damage, any great tanking stats. Yeah, Fripp taking a little bit of a hook there, but Karma will nullify some of that poke damage.
Basically all the poke damage there. But
Basically.
it was a good hook there. Keep those up.
You want to touch on the Doran shields for the 80 carries? Because I like this itemization.
Sven doesn't, but it's kind of an extension of the thought path. What the hell am I saying? It's kind of an extension of the earlier reliance on ninja tabis that ADCs used to buy. But what this comes from is the idea that the more aggressive you are in lane, the more likely you are to get hit by auto attacks. But
auto attacks coming out on the top side as Gnar ulti comes out. 5 bleed stacks, and Graves is up here. Only level 4 though. The Darius Q does not connect, so he will not get that health. And he is super low. One more auto will not take him out. He flashes away. Nothing to follow up on. And Ship What Up escapes with his life, although loses the flash. But not a bad scenario for him. I mean, 1v2 escapes. Can't say it's horrible.
That was a bit strange. Avalonic did end up canceling that last auto attack there that would have killed the Darius, which is why I said, yeah, he's dead. So well done to What Up getting out of that. But yeah, that was a bit of a misplay, especially the flash away by Mickelson there. I do not think that was necessarily needed.
Oh, there's some shenanigans happening at the top red buff. Taking a stroll, looking to do an invade. Oh, does not have the patience right as Avalonic is about to come out. Avalonic now knows this, has a level advantage, and has his team coming. But while there's a skirmish in the bot side, Travesty has rotated up, and they're going to try to pressure for this. This red buff is just about to reset, though. Let's see the smite. It will be secured by Avalonic. Avalonic, though, is chunked super low, and First Blood goes over to Travesty as Asmus watches his jungler die. Now Mickelson is actually kind of trapped between three people. Gets pulled back over by the Darius. Chunked out really low, and oh ship, What Up secures another kill for his team.
Now that's the lead you were talking about here. This Darius has a lead now. He has a significant lead at this point. With over 10 CS difference, plus the kill over Gnar.
Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto Valak Quinta. CCing him and getting him really low, but he's now turning it around onto Frupp, which is taken below half HP, but Valen Quinta is really low. Heal coming out, Ignite onto Frupp, and Frupp will be taken out. Flirt Alert not able to secure the kill on Valen Quinta, and running away from Jujavon, who secures the kill onto Frupp. So a kill advantage in favor of Taco Bell Esports in the bot lane, which now helps relieve the top pressure that was put against them.
Yeah, it's only about a 400 gold difference now. This top lane is going to swing pretty heavily in favor of What Up now, assuming that Michelson doesn't immediately pull back out ahead with some crazy maneuvers. So it's going to be exciting to see how What Up plays this going forward. And Travesty having a kill in the mid lane is just going to, and an assist, is going to make him a real pain to deal with.
Yeah.
However, on the bot side...
Look at that CS lead, too.
Yes. Yeah, the bot side CS lead is massive for Jujevin.
As Asmus gets taken really low by Travesty, forces the Chrono Shift. Travesty sticking on. Looks like he might secure this kill as Asmus gives up all hope. Another kill going over to Travesty, and he is definitely showing up on this Victor.
Yeah, that Travesty doing a very, very good job here. Basically doing everything he needs to do to basically control this mid lane.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why Asmus gave up there. I guess he just didn't want to use his flash or something.
Yeah, he did have flash there, so I mean he could have lived. Travesty could have maybe flashed in as well, but
maybe his mouse disconnected.
it was a little bit of a weird exchange. He could have maybe just flashed instead of using the Chrono Shift early too.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily needed to use the Chrono Shift there. I don't think the Deathfire Touch was going to be able to kill him.
Well, hindsight 2020 as ship walking up. Yeah, and this is really scary because Michelson, if he gets pulled out of his E again, like we saw in the last fight where he died, that means he has no more escape. Darius can slow him, and now that he has the Phage, we'll be able to stick much more easily. Gnar does not have any boots against this Darius with tier 2 boots. That movement speed advantage is going to be so insane if he's able to keep on autoing him.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
as we see, taking a stroll, going in on the bot lane. Velaquintas locked up. Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto Jujavon again. Instead, this time actually. Not going to get the second kill, but that does secure the kill onto the Thresh. So now Frupp does get a kill, which equalizes this bot lane a little more so. Although there still is a lead in favor of Jujavon, which is about 400. Avalonic right in the corner there.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting little trade here in the bot lane. I do like Frupp's choice to use the Enchanted Crystal Arrow on Jujavon to make sure that the opponent, Caitlyn, cannot respond to them getting onto Valaquenta. However, don't think it really mattered in the end, but it was a good decision simply because Ash's Crystal Arrow has such a short cooldown. So I really do like that. Maybe a little bit unnecessary, but it was pretty flashy too.
I mean, I think it was an okay decision because they knew they were gonna get Valaquenta, and that's a lot of damage in the top lane. But yeah, they knew they were
Yeah,
gonna.
it's
Oh,
always
the flash missing. Noxian Guillotine comes out, but not having the 5 bleed stacks means it's not true damage. Flashes the mastery as Oship, what up, knows he made a mistake there. But that mistake does secure him this turret.
That, fair enough trade.
Yeah, I mean, it was a misplay, but he got a lot of lane pressure out of it, which helped secure that advantage. And oh, look at this mid lane. Chrono shift into the spider, and Elise will secure that kill, taking a stroll, making it out alive. Kind of in a weird position right now, though. Might get collapsed on. The Gnar Q does not connect, and that will be that.
Travesty is obviously able to cover the retreat there. One thing I want to highlight though is that Travesty did use his ult earlier and completely whiffed Asmus on that. So that could have gone a whole lot smoother in the mid lane there, but they did manage to pick up the kill, which is the important part. And now, with the first tower already having fallen, this is very, very heavily starting to swing in favor of REEE.
Yeah. REEE definitely has an early advantage with a 2,500 gold advantage so far. And all of that is really on the top side of the map. I mean, the Ashe, she's kind of even, maybe a little slightly behind, but this Darius, look, he's not even scared of 1v2ing anymore, really. He's just
They're
walking
more scared
up.
of him.
Yeah, and that really just kind of shows how big this lead is. I mean, it's so early on, and this kind of lead that early on is very significant. If it was 2,500 gold at 30 minutes, 40 minutes, that's really not much at all, right? That's basically neck and neck. But this early on, that amount of gold is huge.
Yeah, it's now 2,500 gold, but yeah, it's definitely.
And that's not even to mention the
Significant
experience advantage. I mean, look at this mid lane level difference. 11 to 9 in the top lane, 10 to 9. I mean, that Echo is just getting dismantled by this Victor.
Yeah, which is kind of what we expected. But it is good to see Travesty playing to his strengths in this mid lane.
Yeah.
And what up doing pretty much the same thing.
Oh,
Ooh,
the
just barely missing
apprehend
the
not
apprehend.
connecting. Yeah. Sad.
Sad.
Oh gosh. It looks like Frupp will be picking up this red buff, which, do you think that Ashe really needs it that much? I mean, it's not horrible, I guess.
Well, the extra slow is an extra slow, and it will
Yeah,
stack.
but Elise can use it not too horribly either. She does have an attack speed buff. Oh, but Valaquenta is so low. Not getting finished up, though. Not even getting taken out by that red buff. Oh, the red buff will finish it off, actually. Maybe it was in a W. The Graves ulti does secure the Elise kill, though. And the Caitlyn ultimate does come out right in point blank range as Avalonic narrowly escaping death. 3 for 1 in favor
Travesty.
of Taco Bell Esports. Travesty, yeah, trying to chase down a kill.
Got his
Flash
there it
E
is.
and secures a kill on Avalonic. Nice that he gets the return kill, but that's definitely something that Taco Bell Esports needed right there. And honestly, it looks like that went where they wanted it to go. It went to the ADC and the jungler. The mid lane and top lane have kind of been weak points so far, but this bot side and jungle, have been the strong points for Taco Bell this game.
Yeah, they do want to try and stack kills, especially onto Jujevin here. They want to make sure this Caitlyn can do everything possible to try and mitigate the amount of damage that What Up is putting out and that Travesty is putting out. And so far, hasn't necessarily came to fruition yet, simply because we haven't seen a full-on team fight. But I'm imagining that Jujevin is going to certainly be a major part of any upcoming
This
team
Ocean
fights
Drake
for
being
Taco Bell.
started will be discovered. And taking a scroll is going to have to just concede it looks like. Maybe he wants to continue it. It partially resets, but that's not too big of a deal. They're establishing zoning control around it. And they had Oship What Up walk down, which is a really strange decision considering his teleport is up. But, I mean, now they can send Oship to the bot lane. They can push out that top lane. Or they could even funnel that top lane gold into Travesty. Then group mid, shove that mid turret as 4 with the bot lane. Darius having that TP, right? So
Yeah. One thing I want to
rotations.
point out here, rotations.
Yeah.
Thank you, Monty,
Fun.
but no. One thing I want to point out here is there's a little macro play that you don't see happen very often in low to mid elo play that a lot of higher elo and professional players will do, and that's playing around the plants. You'll notice that as What Up walked through the top jungle there, he did not activate the blast cone to get back to lane. Mostly and probably because he didn't need it, and he was in no hurry to get to the top lane. However, that does mean that it is available for Avalonic to use if that Graves needs that extra mobility. So that's something to bear in mind when you're in the opponent's jungle, is that you do want to use the plants, even if it's only a very minor advantage you gain from it.
I mean, not always. If you're wanting to play up, then you want it as an escape tool. But if you think that the enemy will use it as a way to engage upon you, then you definitely want to take it out.
Yeah, and in this particular instance, since What Up is playing so far forward while the rest of his team has yet to open up the mid lane, it does mean that Avalonic does have the angle on you to get in.
The Flay not connecting onto Travesty, but the Death Sentence will. And Echo is on Travesty now. Asmus gets blown up, though, not able to use the Chrono Shift. And did I say Chrono Shift? Isn't that Zillion's ulti? It's Chrono Break. I was close.
Yeah, Chrono Shift is Zillion.
Okay. Now that that's out of the way, mid lane is being sieged down by REEE, but Oh Ship What Up is taking a lot of damage under that tower. It will be taken out, though, and he's trying to walk away. It looks like this might be the end of the fight as they get a tower, get a kill, and get out.
Yeah, opening up the mid lane is very, very important here because, well, one, it increases the gold lead, as is important, and you do have to take towers to win the game, but more than anything else, having the mid lane open allows for a much greater pressure on that top side of the map, because it means that no longer can Avalonic freely roam between his two sides of the jungle and gank anywhere he pleases, because that entire top side is now completely open and there's no longer any outer turrets to hide underneath. And it also allows taking a stroll to stroll right in there and begin to assimilate that jungle into his fold.
Yeah, and you don't normally want people assimilating your stuff into their folds.
Shut up.
So
Look, it sounded better in my head, okay?
with that, it looks like Elise is trying to solo the Rift Herald. And
Yeah,
she
she's
can
gonna
do this
take that
really well
gold
because
real
of her Spiderlings, able to tank it, which means she can proc the eye. But there is a ward on it, and there is an engage onto Travesty. Asmus getting very low, though, and it looks like the Rift Herald will be just handed over to the side of Taco Bell eSports. It will be finished up by them, and they will get a kill on taking a stroll. They are now onto Travesty. Is there going to be a Death Sentence coming out? Flay missing.
Eventually.
He does get stunned, and actually it looks like Travesty makes it out alive.
Meanwhile, Frupp and What Up are pushing two lanes simultaneously there. What Up's going to be in a little bit of trouble here, but Frupp gets this turret for free.
Oh, they didn't cut him off enough, I think. And it looks like Oh Ship What Up has secured a path out. Yeah, he's safe. And with that, they do stabilize the gold a little bit more so in favor of REE's favor, but Taco Bell eSports did just get the Rift Herald, and it really boils down to how are they going to utilize it. They have Asmus with the teleport in the bot lane right now, and they have everyone else grouping up, it seems like. So it looks like they're trying to execute some kind of 0-4-1, possibly using the Rift Herald in the bot side. And that's the one advantage with double teleport, is that since both top laners have used their TP, now the mid laner can split push, although he does recall. So right now they have a Darius without teleport in the bot lane. They should be establishing Baron control, pushing down from mid tower, and trying to force stuff.
And REEE is realizing this, which is why they are grouping up in the mid lane, because they know that What Up does not have his teleport up just yet. It's going to be a little bit of time, so they want to establish as much dominance as they can so that they cannot be pushed out while the teleport is unable for them to
Yeah. It
engage
looks
the
like
fight.
Ship might be a little overextended as a ping comes onto him, and it looks like there's people collapsing. There is vision, so he does know what's going on. But is it too little, too late? Avalonic walking up with the red buff. Oh, he just decides it's not worth it, and they disengage it. I mean, Avalonic could have definitely, gone for an auto attack, slowed him, and then Valaquinta could have CC'd, but it looks like they just didn't want to take it, as Jujavon just backs out. So
Yeah, I think that might have worked out for them. However, they did not have enough team members to ensure that the rest of REEE was able to come back in.
yeah,
But What Up's getting caught here a little bit.
is he caught or is he doing the catching?
Good question.
As Valaquinta gets rooted, Frupp trying to DPS down Mikkelsen, and he flashes the ulti. Oh, Ship going really aggressive. Does not get the ultimate, and he does not have the Noxian Might. Asma's taken out really low, and Jujavon getting CC down, and that will be another kill going over to Frupp for a double kill. Really hectic fight, but REEE comes out 1 for 4 in favor of them, and they have to be happy with that. They're getting an Infernal Drake on the backside too.
Yeah, it's very, very important here that when you're behind, you fight as a unit. Because if you're fighting these chaotic spread 1v1s, chaotic kind of team fights where everyone's just kind of turning around and fighting individual people every so often, it is going to go against you if each and every one of your lanes is losing at this point. Now, we could argue back and forth about just how strong the two bot lanes are, but the point remains is that Frupp at the start of that team fight was 2-2.
Taking a stroll, missed the cocoon.
Yeah, that's scuttle crap. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna begrudge him that.
I mean, pro players have done that.
Yeah.
So
And I
he's
miss
qualified
all
as
the
a pro
time.
now.
Yeah, there you go.
Rift Herald
But-
was just about to expire, so Asmus had to proc it in the mid lane, and this is really important. We need to watch this Rift Herald and what happens to it. Are they going to protect it, or is it just going to wither away and die?
It's gonna wither away and die. But we'll get a headbutt off on that tower.
Yeah,
That's about it.
but it's not really what you want to be doing with your Rift Heralds.
Yeah,
They
I do
could've-
want to highlight the design of this Rift Herald, though. It does do a lot of damage to turrets. It headbutts them with that first strike, but it actually costs a portion of the Rift Herald's health when it does so. So it's balanced around that you cannot simply let it hit a tower and then expect it to continue to do work. You have to actively be with it. It's basically just a giant ZZ Rock portal.
Yeah. And with that, there is some mid damage on that turret, but if you can't finish off the turret, what is it really going to do for them? I mean, there have been 0 turrets taken from Taco Bell eSports, and I mean, you could see the gold deficit, 6K difference in favor of REEE. They really need to get some of that, global gold for their whole team. They're just behind in general. I mean, the kills, yes, they're 6 kills behind too, but 3 towers makes a difference. As Asmits gets CC'd, exhaust coming out, the W locks him down. He gets rooted up and dunked on. Now, Oh Ship What Up does have the lead stacks, but steps into a trap, so that will be the end of his bloody rampage. But Flirt Alert takes down Avalonic. And now it looks like they're going to shove out that bot lane and go for a tower.
Michelson is in the top lane, but What Up's just going to teleport up there and stuff. But not necessarily required. I think they could trade that top lane turret because it would keep Michelson up there. And that would mean an even lesser defense on this inner turret here. But they take it anyway and don't lose anything for it. So good for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this is going much cleaner for REEE. Like in the past 10 minutes or so. Did taking a stroll?
Yeah, he flashed cocoon and missed.
Okay, I thought he just flashed randomly. I didn't see the cocoon come out. I looked away for a second, and then I hear a flash, and I see taking a stroll just walking around, and mastery emotes coming out.
Yeah, it happens.
I thought it was just one of those hee XD moments, but okay.
He's just trying to make a very proactive play, and in this particular instance, it did not work out for him.
Yeah, something to mention is item power spikes. Thresh just picked up that redemption, and as well as Karma, so the double redemptions coming out, which is expected, but that's very important because the redemptions and their usage in these team fights is going to be crucial for the big objective, you know, fights with 4+ people.
Yeah, definitely. The Runans and the redemptions in particular are going to be excellent, and I really do like the same builds and the differences between the builds of the ADCs and the supports here. We see the Runans coming out for both ADCs, which is very, very important to them.
It was important for Caitlyn, but she actually, remember the change that happened to her this patch? Runans
yeah, she doesn't get the headshots anymore.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot more Caitlyn's starting to go for a static build, a static Shiv rapid fire build, or even just a static, or some kind of variations of that, and some still do go for the Runans. I mean, Runans is a great item. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does come out though, and it looks like Quinta will be taken out. And that's a little bit over aggressiveness in the warding from him. Gets picked off. You gotta remember that Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow is something you need to always keep an eye out for.
Yeah, this is a game that's happening right here.
This is a thing that is happening.
Yeah.
Stuff is going on.
I'm sorry, there's a very loud lawnmower outside my door, and I'm trying to make sure that you guys can't hear it, but I'm not sure how effective that's being.
My squeaky chair isn't making it any better. Don't even worry about it.
Okay, we're good then.
The chair squeak is taking over the lawnmower. Don't worry.
All right, well, I've got chair squeak too. We'll be the chair squeak brothers. Anyway, I want to highlight here just how many red buffs Frupp has gotten this game, because someone in chat mentioned that slows no longer stack. I'm about 95% sure that they still do, but even beyond that, the amount of red buffs that Frupp does get and is putting to good use here is pretty nice, honestly. Being able to have that damage over time, even if the slows do not stack, does give him that extra damage that, you know, not dominating his lane would have given him, because Jujevin was ahead early on.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't stack, but the damage over time does definitely help out, and with the Runons on this Ashe, he's gonna be able to apply that really well. As well as having just so much attack speed, he can definitely auto a lot of members, apply that red buff across the board, and just get a lot of extra damage off. There could be an argument made that maybe you give it over to the Darius so he can stick to targets more easily. But,
and yes, we are aware Frupp is a girl. If you noticed, I was using only gender-neutral pronouns throughout that entire
I don't. I just go with the flow. Sometimes I do, actually, but sometimes it escapes me, as they have been escaping a lot of these narrow team fights and coming out ahead. Transitions! I did it!
Now they're going to escape into Baron Pit, and Baron is going to escape into their pockets. There's really not a whole lot that Taco Bell can do here. They can try and steal the way. Avalonic can go for the 50-50.
And it looks like the 50-50 will happen, but taking a stroll does secure it. He will be taken out, though. A lot of low health members. Oh, ship, what up? Going in, gets taken out. And there is a big stun from Mikkelsen as he is going on to Frupp. Frupp gets taken out. Triple kill for Asmus. And now Travesty does get a return kill onto Jujevon, my bad. And oh my god, he gets Asmus! What was that? Travesty, what were those moves? Wow. Okay, he gets 2 kills out of nothing, but all the Barons are gone besides for a Karma. I mean, they still have one, which is very important when you're sieging with your team. But 4 deaths is not what you want. Good. Yeah, and Mikkelsen, I don't know if it's Michelson or Mikkelsen. I believe the proper way to pronounce it by the spelling would be Mikkelsen, right?
Well, it really depends on what country this player hails from, because different countries will pronounce it differently. Michelson is much more Nordic. Mikkelsen will be if you're coming from a Slavic country or from, say, Germany. So we really, chat, help us out here. Is it Michelson or Mikkelsen?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Mikkelsen because I've been going for that, and I don't want to just go back and forth unless I have good a saying from the player, as they're the only one that knows their own name, really.
Yeah.
But Frup securing another one of those red buffs, as we've mentioned, something maybe not optimal, but it's definitely not bad by any means. I mean, maybe
who else are they gonna put it on? Are they
I-
gonna put it on what up? I mean,
yeah, that is an option. I think it actually would be decent on what up because he does have the Triforce, so he's definitely looking to play aggressively, which will allow him to give himself move speed and then slow down his targets with that red buff. But Asmus getting slowed down by the Rylai's and possibly going to get taken out by Travesty. Oh, a little bit of a juke there. It was more so Travesty juking himself. And the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from downtown secures the kill, though. Asmus taken out. His team shoving for that mid tower, though. Are they going to get it in time? There is a grouping from REEE, and it will be secured. Oh ship, what up? Missing the apprehend, though. And that looks like that is it. Although, taking a stroll in a very aggressive position, maybe looking for a cocoon, but deciding, due to better judgment, no, I will not go for that 1v3. Although, oh ship, looks like he wants to go for a 1v1 here, as he is on Jujevon, and he gets the auto reset. 4 stacks, 5 stacks, boom, dunked.
Done. Absolutely done.
Yeah, so with that, there is a very significant amount of wave clear taken away, plus ranged damage. So, I mean, all there is really this Echo, and against Baron minions, since Karma still does have that Baron buff, these minions are quite tanky against that magic damage. The Baron buff will wear off soon, but it's still going to be lingering around probably long enough for this inhibitor tower, although maybe not.
I don't know. Good question.
I'd like to know.
I guess we'll just have to watch and find out.
On the next episode of Learning 5's EU.
Yeah. It's just those guys.
All right, stream over. Ended. We're out.
Dun, 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 dun.
What was that? Was Mario, not Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, was that my? I thought we were going to Dragon Ball Z. My bad.
That was Mario. You just did the Mario theme.
No, I didn't.
That sounded like Mario.
You're tone deaf.
But with that, though, Jujevon respawns and goes back to his team. Now, he does have the static Shiv picked up as well, so he's going to be critting really hard.
Yeah.
No lifesteal, though, only having the QSS as defensiveness. And, I mean, against the Ashe with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, plus the Elise Cocoons, you could argue that standing behind your team and positioning properly is good enough that you don't need that QSS, but it is a very safe option, so I don't think it's bad. But it definitely could be argued you could remedy that by grouping differently and playing your positioning differently, as well as your whole team's positioning. But, I mean, if you really look at this team, though, there isn't that great of a front line. There's Anar, who's kind of ranged when he's mini, and then there's also Thresh, who's ranged and not super tanky. He's pretty tanky, but not a hyper tank.
They really don't have a dedicated tank here, especially with Asmus going in the somewhat AP path of this Echo mid lane.
Yeah, he's a little bruisery-esque with the Banshees and the Proto Belt, but very, very heavy in damage still. As Banshees is no longer really a tank item, it's just a magic resist mage item. It was changed though this patch, so it gives 60 AP. Yeah, just double checking. It gives 60 AP, and it costs 300 gold more. So they made it gear a little more towards the late game and more for the magic resistance. So if you want it purely for the damage and spell shield, you're gonna have to invest a little more. But oh ship, what up? Investing himself into the enemy team's front line. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow did not come out yet, but now it did, and Bella Quinta is taken out. But all these traps and that the cage coming out from Thresh, the box. It's just called the box. Correction.
The box.
I wanted to call it the box, and then I'm like, oh, that seems like such a stupid name. It can't be that. It's the box. Okay.
What's in the box?
Yeah. Well, what was in the box was the enemy team, as it stopped them from chasing them down. So he sacrifices his life, kind of. And I
It
mean,
basically means that REEE does not have the ability to just straight rush down mid lane and end the game immediately. They still
yeah,
have to
but
contend with the rest of the team.
Baron
However,
up in
they're
30 seconds, and yeah, they're getting 2 inhibitors. With this Infernal, or sorry, this Elder Drake, this should be basically a guaranteed free Baron because they have so much pressure. They have 2 inhibitors down, which means super minions coming out of 2 lanes. This is pretty scary.
Yeah, Taco Bell had a slight instance of coming back into the game after they got that really nice team fight after Baron. But at this point, it's completely REE's game. They would have to throw pretty dang hard to lose at this point, but it's entirely still possible.
Yeah. And oh, we see Velaquenta in the front line again. And Flirt Alert taken really low, but Velaquenta is even lower, and he gets taken out. Asmus in the front line uses the Chrono Break, gets out. So many low health targets, and we see Oh Ship What Up going in, not getting any more kills, but taking a stroll, securing the double kill. And 3 players down means that this looks like it might be the game.
Yeah, this will be game end. I do not believe Asmus and Avalonic will be able to hold up here, especially not against the amount of tankiness and power that this team has been able to put out. What Up in particular playing very, very well. Nar is crying. The game is over.
Yep. And with that, that will be game 1 going in favor to My Eyes REEE. And we will be going. Oh God.
You got to give it that.
And you know, they put the salty tears into the eyes of Mikkelsen there.
Yeah.
The tears
All
are
6 of
in
them.
Mikkelsen's eyes.
All 6
So
eyes.
with that, we'll be going to a short break. So don't go anywhere. We will be going to game 2 of this best of 2 series between My Eyes REEE and Taco Bell eSports. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 of this EU show match between Taco Bell eSports and My Eyes REEE. That is confirmed how you have to say their name, by the way. If you're saying it any other way, it's just incorrect.
I thought it was My Eyes.
Oh, God. I'm not going to do that. I'm doing play-by-play. My voice is already going to be dead after this. As we see, the Gangplank ban is dead yet again, and Caitlyn being banned out. With an Elise ban, a lot of bans coming out from the last game, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Would you like to give us a more in-depth color visualization?
Oh, you're gonna let me actually talk this time. No, it makes a lot of sense for Taco to ban out the champions that they had problems with last game because they had problems with them last game. But in particular, Elise is a very strong jungler, and taking a stroll basically stepped all over Taco with it. So them banning that out makes perfect sense. Banning out the REEE makes perfect sense because Travesty will kill you all with it. So judging from that, those two bans are necessary. And the Gangplank, of course, you do not want to give What Up an even stronger top lane carry.
Yeah, that is... We called him Oh Ship What Up because he is the captain of his ship as Gangplank. So that is why that came out. The ship wasn't for no reason. He is a scary Gangplank. As Lux is banned out. Was Lux banned last game? We didn't see it picked or banned.
No,
correct?
no, it was not banned out last game.
A little weird, I think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just want to say to Asmus here, just, yeah, go ahead, pick that Echo again.
And actually, the Zac. Oh
Yes.
my, Zac. Okay, he did get nerfed, but he's still apparently really scary.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anyone use him incredibly effectively in solo queue or professional yet. That's mostly because we haven't seen Meteos play yet.
Oh my.
I believe he wasn't playing for P1 yesterday. Wasn't Inori playing for P1 yesterday?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So we haven't seen Zac pop up since his rework in the LCS.
But that's because he's been banned so often.
True.
He was played one game, I believe, left open at least. I don't recall exactly what, but basically he's a very strong pick. That's the bottom line. He is a scary champion. He slaps stuff, and group is everywhere. I was gonna say balls. It's not. But Orianna was picked. It wasn't just out of nowhere.
He slaps them and then balls are everywhere because Orianna was nearby too. I don't know. I've closed chats, so I don't even care what they're saying about our terrible analogies.
That's something to bring up, though. The Orianna-Zac combo, that initiation combo is very strong. I mean, you have the
It's
Orianna...
iconic almost, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Orianna ball into the Zac elastic slingshot, and then the shockwave into the Zac ultimate creates this disgusting engage where you basically get a guaranteed however many Zac hits with his E. Shockwave plus Zac ultimate. It's one of the scariest combos I think there is in this game, besides maybe like Malphite Yasuo or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah, Malphite Yasuo or Malphite Orianna. Orianna creates a lot of really good ult synergies.
Definitely.
One thing that's even better now is that with Zac's new ultimate, synergizing with Orianna makes it even that much better because then Zac just takes their entire team back to you. So it's even better than it was pre-rework, which is the one instance in which you can say Zac's ultimate is better than it was pre-rework. So that's good to know.
Yeah, and ADCs are being banned out from both teams as no ADCs are picked yet. And if we look, we already see 5 ADCs have been banned this game. There is a ban thrown into the top lane as My Eyes REEE have already picked their top laner. So they're looking to narrow the pool down a little bit for Mikkelsen. But the Gnar was picked last game, and it's left open this game again. So maybe they just felt like it was not even that big of a deal, and that, you know, the Yorick is more of an issue.
Well, What Up did beat it in a lane which ostensibly he should be countered by. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt there. We will see Frupp picking up Lucian. Frupp has played this before, and she's quite good on it. So we're going to see how that picks up for them. Frupp and Flirt Alert did not exactly win their bot lane last time, but that was more of a champion matchup than anything else. And this lane may go better for them.
yeah, Vayne picked. Vayne is kind of that champion that you don't see in learning fives too much because coaches are just kind of like, I don't trust you
No.
with that. Yeah. So it's kind of not picked so often, and we're seeing it taken here by Jujavon. But if you look, it's against Travesty's Victor, which we saw last game was very scary. Plus, Frupp has the Lulu to enable them. I mean, if you look at this pick ban, they basically have everything they want on My Eyes REEE. They have a Lulu. They have Travisy's Victor again.
Oh
Oh
God, they
shit.
got Lulu.
Yeah, they got Lulu on red side. Lulu. I
Oh,
mean, yes,
rip.
they do have Zach. Zach is definitely a very good power point here, like power pick. Look at this. Zach, Galio, Oriana, right? You can get some really nasty combos with this. But is it going to be enough against, O Ship's Darius? And then
No.
I mean, both teams have so much that they want. It's a lot got through pick ban, and honestly, the bans are somewhat questionable on both sides when you really look at it.
Well, this is the new ban system, though. It's 10 bans. You're just kind
Yeah,
of throwing them out there because you're not entirely sure how to utilize them. The LCS obviously has had it for split already, and we saw how that developed as the split went on. I was doing a lot of casting for the LCL, the Russian Pro League, as well, and they used the 10 ban system in a much different way than even the North American LCS did. So each league, per se, of which Learning Fives is one, will develop their kind of own style for how these 10 ban systems will work. And I imagine that this is going to be just ban out every single comfort pick that these people have and go from there. However, everyone forgot that travesty exists, I guess, is the only thing that I
yeah.
can figure in this
I
ban
mean,
phase.
you look at the bans and you see, okay, the Gangplank ban completely understandable, right?
Yes.
The Elise, I mean, okay, it was a little
Yeah, it's
bit
a
of an
strong
issue.
champion.
The Ari, well, I think the Victor was more of a problem, right? The Ashe, okay, I think Ashe is probably a better ban than Elise, so I could definitely be okay with that one, especially since the ADC wasn't picked yet. And then Syndra, I mean, you already have Oriana Karma. It's a lot of shielding, and then you have two
Yeah.
tanks, so I don't really think that Syndra is too big of a threat. And when Travesty showed up so well on that Victor, can you really say that that's okay to let through?
Yeah, I really don't think the Victor was worth letting that through. In addition, you do need to ban out Travesty's Ari. Like, it's better than his Victor.
Okay,
So that needs to stay there. But
but
Elise and
yeah,
Syndra definitely could have been replaced.
hmm
I haven't seen Travesty's Syndra, but I imagine it's a travesty. So
oh
we're going to say that probably should have banned out the Victor instead. But again, this is the first EU match, and EU has always been slower to adopt new things, as we saw.
oh, that's a little. We don't go there. We don't go there.
This is why I closed chat before I said anything.
Uh, all right. And with that, I think we're gonna go to a quick break as we have game two between Taco Bell Esports and My Eyes REEE. Don't go anywhere. And hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with game 2 between Taco Bell Esports and My Eyes REEE. And on the blue side, this game, we switch sides. So we have Taco Bell Esports with Mikkelsen in the top lane, Avalonic in the jungle, Asmus in the mid lane, Jujavon in AD carry, and Vela Quinta in the support position. And on the red side, we have My Eyes REEE with Oh Ship What Up taking a stroll in the top lane, taking a stroll in the jungle, taking a stroll around the map, obviously. Travesty in the mid lane, Frup in the AD carry position, and Flirt Alert as the support.
Can I just comment on the fact that when we loaded into game, Galio said, "Would you like to take a ride on my massive
Yeah,
shoulder?"
I heard that.
I don't really want to know exactly what there was actually supposed to be some kind of a reference there or something, but we're just going to leave it there. Anyway, I want to talk about the early game matchup here, now that I have some time to talk, is that Taking a Stroll is playing on this Amumu, which means he does need to start immediately on his blue buff, because if he doesn't, he's not going to be able to clear. This means that Avalonic knows exactly where Taking a Stroll is going to be. So if Avalonic wants to do something cheeky around the red buff, he certainly has the ability to do so. I like to focus on the jungle in the early game, in particular the first 5-6 minutes, simply because the jungle has the most freedom to macro the map. So it's going to be interesting to see how this progresses, considering last game we had a bit of an invade come down that didn't really amount to anything.
Yeah, I want to mention in the top lane, though, that Galio versus Darius is much more favored towards Darius than Gnar versus Darius. So
yeah, and we saw how good What Up did in a lane that didn't favor him. So
yeah, this should be very scary for Mikkelsen, as Oh Ship is basically just gonna bully him if he plays anything like last game.
Mm-hmm. That is a really cool Galio skin, so we do have to give him that.
Yeah, a lot of freezes coming out. As we mentioned last game, the client does freeze every once in a while. It's right side, we can't do anything about it. We apologize, though, for the viewing inconvenience.
Yeah. Just press the plus button a couple times and figure ourselves out.
Yeah. Rito fix, please. But something to note is that Vayne started Doran Shield against a Lucian Lulu, which is a lot of, she's going to be taking a lot of harass. So that's really good. But the Lucian just going ballsy and saying, your Karma isn't going to poke me enough, and Vayne isn't going to really poke me too much. So Avalonic decides to go in the mid lane, and Travesty getting taken very low here. Burns the flash, still has the heal available though. And that will be it. But flash burned, an advantage going over to Taco Bell Esports early. Oh.
That was it. Ooh.
The E was blocked. That will be that though, but there's a lot of crazy trading up in the top side.
Yeah. One thing I want to comment on is that's exactly what the kind of plays I was expecting Avalonic to make here, because Zach's level 3 is so strong. His ability to gank in those kind of situations is exactly what makes Zach a good jungler. And with him knowing exactly where Taking a Stroll was going to be, it allowed him to make that kind of play early on. Burn Travesty's flash, which means a return gank is definitely possible within the next minute or two.
Yeah, and we see Frup going a little aggressive here, just some small trades in the bot lane. As with the double shielding supports, a lot of this aggressiveness early on will be nullified. And these ADCs are really going to be showing off their skill later in the game, because, like I said, a lot of that early, shielding prevents some of that stuff down there. And Vayne isn't really early game focused anyways. Lucian much more so than Vayne, but he does like going later in, getting some of those items, and just kiting super hard.
Yeah, one thing to note about this bot lane is that it's going to come down almost to CS ability for sure, and also mana pool, because Frup and Jujevin are going to be doing their best to farm and also return any poke that they get. But because of the nullifying shields, it's not going to be chip damage as much as it's just going to be who can conserve.
Oh, another gank
Here's
in the mid
return
lane.
gank.
Travesty getting low, burning the heal. Asmus uses a barrier, but it does not block much. And First Blood will go over to Avalonic. Asmus using the barrier, they're not blocking much. Maybe it wasn't needed. And Mikkelsen getting those 5 bleed sacks. And also, look at his mana. Completely out.
Yeah, but that's the return gank we expected from Avalonic. I did call that because, you know, you burn one summoner spell, you come back in, you try and burn the other one, especially when you've got 2 defensive summoner spells like Flash and Heal. And after seeing how strong Travesty was last game, they want to completely nullify any advantage that he could gather anywhere in this game. So it's a very, very good decision by Avalonic to focus on this mid lane at this point.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And we see the Galio actually picks up the double Doran's ring. As there is some more skirmishing in the bot lane. Not too much coming from that though. But the double Doran's ring against the Darius, who has now gotten a Spectre's Cowl. So do you want to elaborate on those itemizations?
Well, I'm not really entirely on board with the double Dorans from Galio, from Mikkelsen.
Well, it gives him a lot of mana sustain for his Q wave clear. It's so he doesn't have to walk up to melee range to CS against the Darius.
And it does give him health too, yes. So it's a good start, but I feel like because the Doran's items don't build into anything, he's just delaying his ticket items that make him tanky. And he's never going to win this top lane. So I feel like he should be more focused on perhaps building in to, say, a Sunfire Cave or a Spirit Visage or whatever item he decides that he needs first. But I don't think that giving himself the lane ability that the double Dorans provides, a single Doran, sure, but the double Dorans I don't think gives him enough of a lane advantage to what's the word I'm looking for him to be able to justify it over a building core item beginnings kind of route. However,
Zach with the repeat gank in the mid lane though, Travesty getting knocked up with the shockwave being used. The Galio ulti does come out and will secure the kill. So Mikkelsen gets a kill this time. And Asmus got to be a little sad about that. He wants some of those kills, has 2 assists now, but was really low. So maybe it's for the better. Maybe Travesty could have even gotten a kill there. So luckily, no deaths for them. But this is definitely a lead going over to Taco Bell eSports. But I mean, if you look at the CS, look at this top lane CS. The gold difference is almost nothing, and that's mostly in part, mostly due to this top lane where there is a 200 getting closer on 300 gold lead. Almost double the CS, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, with all of these ganks that Avalonic has been putting into the mid lane, taking a stroll has kind of just been farming like crazy. And it's
really,
you know, an Amumu isn't really where you want all your money, right? But a Darius, who's getting the 5 lead sacks as he's going in on Mikkelsen, he does have the ultimate, not hitting the Q, so he's going to disengage it. But if he hits those Qs, I believe it's Decimate, yes, and the Crippling Strikes is the W. If he hits those Decimates, it will allow him to just commit fully to it, and then use the Noxian Guillotine to secure the kill. So it really is all about those narrow side steps or flashes coming out from this top lane matchup.
Yeah, it's really going to be important from him to put out his full combo onto Mikkelsen, because Mikkelsen does have that kill now, and while he is very, very far behind on farm, he is going to be able to build some nice items for himself when he goes back. So What Up is going to want to do everything in his power to nullify any advantage that Mikkelsen has gained off of that kill. Travesty, meanwhile, needs to be careful because he's about to get ganked again.
Yeah, and Avalonic actually uses the sticky hands of his Q and gets the shockwave off onto Travesty. He burns the heal, flashes out, and will live. So Asmus sadly not getting a kill again. Both summoners used by Travesty, though, will allow even more repeat ganks, as he has been getting camped. And really, this is completely kind of the opposite of what we saw last game, where he was getting a lot fed to him. Now a lot's being taken away from him, as Avalonic is going back in yet again. But Curse Inside Mummy will lock down Asmus, and he does not have flash. They do get Travesty, and that is a kill going over to Asmus. But is it going to be a double kill for taking a stroll here? Avalonic does have the passive, but he can smite one of those bloblets. Is he going to commit to it? It looks like he will not fully commit to it, so that's going to be that.
Yeah, the minions were in a weird position there.
Yeah, he also was running out of mana, too.
Yeah. Bad situation, unlucky there for taking a stroll, but one thing I want to point out here is taking a stroll hasn't really been exerting basically any pressure. He is level 8 now, so as soon as he hit that level 6, he should have been starting to gank anywhere that he had a chance, not necessarily just this mid lane. Because Travesty's getting ganked constantly, and camped, which is kind of where I got the canked from. But anyway, he should, taking a stroll and Travesty together should be talking and saying, look, Travesty, you're getting camped. We need to focus other lanes or do something. So maybe he should be looking for a gank on this bot lane, because Bandage Toss is an excellent ability to be getting in here. But I really do think that taking Stroll is not taking advantage of his level 6 power spike with the Curse of the Sad Moment.
Well, the thing is,
and I think if he wants to pull ahead, he's going to need to.
Yeah, and I think he wants to, but his bot lane has been constantly shoving out this whole game. And yes, they could get a lane gank, but against a Karma Vayne that have all their summoners, it's not going to get too much, really. And after the first lane gank, they probably would ward, so it's not like they could really get repeat gank, as Mikkelsen is getting really low, but not low enough for that Noxian Guillotine to finish him off, as Oh Ship What Up leaves with nothing.
Yeah, but he does have an open lane now, which means an even more farm advantage will grow here.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
there is that.
I mean, the gold isn't too horrible, as Mikkelsen did get a kill, but you can see 500 plus gold lead in favor of Oh Ship. And that CS will go under the tower, so it's going to be a little bit more than that even. And really, I mean, Avalonic has been putting so much mid lane. He's kind of just like, I think he's just given up on top lane, because he doesn't really want to gank the Darius, because they don't really have any damage to secure a kill with. That Darius has a magic resist item already against 2 AP champions who are tanks. Really, how are they going to kill him right now? They need that Vayne to kill him. And Baron is secured, or Dragon is secured by Avalonic, but Asmus is taken out. Let's Bounce, pulling a lot of people together. Mikkelsen getting really deep in, not really hitting that many people to W. Jujavon flashes out, and Avalonic is taken down, does not have the passive. Mikkelsen kind of just trying to buy time. He did not have flash? It looked like he did, but it might have been just off cooldown.
Yeah.
So, accepting his fate. And that is a 4 for none. Or I thought there was
Dragon.
1 at the start. No, but yeah, it was yeah. 4 for Dragon, I guess. But it's an Earth Drake, so that's definitely a very valuable Drake to have, but you know, you can't make too much use of it if you can't get to the objectives. And when there's a gold lead going over to REEE, and they can keep you from getting their towers or getting, you know, near any more dragons or Rift Herald or Baron or something, that's basically a useless Drake. So really, it's all about if they can ever utilize this Drake, and 4 kills going over, that's a giant gold swing. I don't think it was really worth it.
Yeah, it's very, very important that Travesty was able to pick up some kills here. He is now even again, which means he's going to be able to pick up all kinds of fun times, including his Hex Core Mark II, which is exactly what he needs in this situation. One thing to note is he didn't get the blue buff there. The Cinder Hulk, for taking a stroll, did pick it up accidentally.
Cinder Hulk can't finish off buffs, I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna who?
Cinder Hulk can't finish off buffs. It was probably Amumu's W if he still had it on. I wasn't watching it there, but...
All I know is that Amumu killed it.
Yeah, okay.
And Travesty did not get it.
Feels
so
sad.
That's a sad voice. He's going to continue to cry about it. Travesty, he is now even in this lane, like I said. Now he has the upgraded E, he has the upgraded Q, I believe, is what he went for second. I'm going to have to double check that, but I imagine that's what he would have gone for, because why would you upgrade your W?
Yeah. And also, I forgot to mention keystones this game. Something to note, Darius did take the Fervor of Battle, right? A very aggressive choice, but Travesty, even more aggressive, is taken out while in the Let's Bounce with Zac. Is it? That's not called Let's Bounce. It's still called Let's Bounce. Okay. So the Shockwave will secure the kill for Asmus, and that's definitely what he wanted. But back to where what I was saying before. These the masteries taken So Darius took Fervor Battle, which is very aggressive of a choice, right? Normally, Darius's go for either Fervor, Grasp, and sometimes go for Courage, although it's not that common anymore, as Courage got nerfed quite a while back. And also the Lulu took Wind Speakers, which most Lulus tend to go for the Thunderlords, as, you know, she only has the shield, really. The Wind Speakers doesn't help with her ulti, I believe, as it just gives health. It's not a heal. Oh, Jujavon taking a lot of damage, but, and then other things to note, Vayne, Jujavon does have that, Warlords, so he will be able to sustain up a little bit better than if he had the Fervor. And, everything else is pretty standard.
Here's taking a stroll, though. He is in this bot lane here. This is where he wants to be. But if he can pull something off is the question. Travesty is also on his way down.
Oh, flash bandage toss into the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Jujavon getting really low, going back, and Frupp secures the kill. Villaquinta is super low as well, and Travesty will secure that one. Exactly where they wanted that goal to go. One to each of their carries.
Yeah, and I was just about to say earlier that this is going to be the What Up show simply because Travesty was falling behind, but Travesty has done an excellent job of pulling back in with that fight around Dragon and now being able to get a really nice run and
Would you say it's
four-person gank
a
in the bot lane.
really nice run?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
But I would say that it's a really nice run. So,
Okay.
Anyway, not really a whole lot gonna happen going forward for the next little bit here, except picking up this
There
ward.
is a dragon respawning in a minute 30, though.
Yeah,
and
so they're probably just gonna set up for that. I imagine that
that is an
wants-
Earth Drake, so that is a Drake that definitely will be contested, or
Yes.
want to be contested, especially since Taco Bell Esports already has a Drake. An Earth Drake, they definitely want to get the other one so they can just focus on the objective control and play around that. But when you really look at their team, they don't have someone who's really great at towers. They don't have a split pusher. Darius is a better split pusher than Galio, right? They
Yes.
don't have a Caitlyn. They have a Vayne, who's probably one of the worst tower takers of an ADC. I mean, her Q changes definitely made it so she can take towers if they're undefended much easier. But, oh, Avalonic going really aggressive. Shockwave into the Galio, smashing them. Two-man W from the Galio, taunting them as well. And this team fight's going very in favor of Taco Bell Esports so far. Although Oh Ship is still not dead. And there he gets taken out on the back end. Taking a stroll, trying to run through and live. But gets taunted by the Galio yet again. And McKilson is just smashing everything in his path. Vayne Condemn into the wall. And Frupp gets taken out too by Asmus. And now they're onto the Rift Herald. And this is just swinging completely into Taco Bell Esports' favor.
Yeah, that was very, very well set up there. It's a really risky blue steal by taking Stroll and Travesty. Really should not have been that deep in, and then Avalonic was able to collapse on them with Asmus, and a really nice shockwave ensured that Travesty did fall there.
It was all those ultis comboing together, the Shockwave, the Let's Bounce, and the Galio, give me a second, Hero's Entrance. I always blank on that one. But,
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah. But the Earth Drake has respawned. There is a Rift Herald pushing down the mid lane, though, so they're going to prioritize that first, probably. Now it's either they go take Earth Drake while they're handling the Rift Herald, or they just kind of leave it for now. Yeah, it looks like they're just leaving the Earth Drake, and they're prepping it for after they recall by taking the Scuttle Crab. And now it looks like the rotation to go would be to send the Galio up in the top lane and then group everyone else bottom with that giant minion wave. They can try to push for that tower. It looks like that wave will be cleared out, but still, they can definitely do that. And it looks like that will be what they're doing. So this is really good for Taco Bell Esports. It looked like they started to lose this game, but now the gold is almost dead even. They're an Earth Drake up already. And this is definitely a much closer game than last, especially.
Yeah, definitely a much closer game. I do feel like REEE could definitely pull this out if they continue to play the way they were in the first game. Villaquinta clears out that red ward. That's going to be very important.
Double what? Travesty flashing. I don't really think he needed it there, but being safe. But Avalonic not connecting with the elastic slingshot, shooting it really short. Oh, it was not short this time though, as he pulls Travesty into his team, Travesty does take out Jujavon, though, who gets completely melted. McKelson trying to peel for his team, but they're all getting taken out by Travesty. Finally, Taking Stroll goes down, and they're trying to re-engage here, but Zach's passive is popped, and now they're trying to get another kill for Travesty. That is 3 for 1 in favor of REEE again. I mean, just when things started to look good for Taco Bell Esports.
It all evaporates.
And oh my gosh. Oh Ship is going crazy. Double kill for him. Completely annihilates the 2 remaining carries, or members. And it looks like they're going for a recall here.
Yeah.
Dragon
like
is
the
up.
taste of a Taco Bell taco, it disappears after a few seconds.
Taco Bell doesn't just disappear. It reappears a few hours later.
Yes, well, no. I mean, if you have a stomach that's made out of glass, maybe.
I mean,
Anyway.
Taco Bell memes aside, I love Taco Bell, just saying. The Karma Mantra Q not connecting on the red buff there, too. People not hitting the camps in the neutral monsters this game. Or this series, I should say. It's been a worrying trend, I should say.
Yeah. We're not even Diamond 2 yet.
Well, speak for yourself. I just got it yesterday, man.
Really?
No, it was 2 days ago, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't played ranked in I don't know how long.
Yeah, well,
Season and a half.
besides my accomplishments, looks like Mikhailson might not be getting any accomplishments here, as he might be getting collapsed on. No, just walks away. Almost 4-man collapsed on and dived, though. But his team is taking out the Earthdrake, so this is a tower for Dragon Trade.
Not sure how I feel about that, but I'm sure REEE feels confident in trading this simply because they feel they can continue to dominate even with Taco Bell having 2 Mountain Drakes. But I'm not sure if this trade is as equal, because if Taco Bell does get another good team fight, they might be able to break the base, especially if they're able to push into the mid lane quickly.
Yeah, but the thing is, the immediate like factor that's going to be really scary is the gold lead, right? They're getting these objectives that don't translate immediately. You use the Earth Drakes to get more objectives later on. Use it to get Baron, which gives you more objectives, like towers, or use it to get towers, which gives you the gold. But they don't get that really right now. They've only been getting those Earth Drakes, which doesn't give them any real benefit in those team fights. And those team fights have been mostly going in favor of REEE.
Yeah, they haven't been able to convert on the objective opportunity that they're creating for themselves with these Mountain Drakes. Even when they won that team fight, they weren't really able to pick up all that much. They just kind of reset. Really reset.
Would you say they... Yeah, okay, I was going to say.
Okay, yeah, I got it this time. And I don't know. I think it is a shortcoming on the shot calling of Taco Bell that they really haven't been able to capitalize on the leads they have made for themselves. Asmus in particular hasn't been able to capitalize on the small lead he had built up for himself at first in that mid lane, besides getting repeat ganks. But if you're already ahead, you're getting repeat ganks, what does that give you? You're just it still remains the same. You're still ahead. So they really needed to convert this into other lanes, which they did not do.
Yeah, and I think that's also REEE is kind of like, okay, we'll let you take those Earth Drakes because we don't think you're going to get any objectives anyways. They aren't really scared of them cracking the base or getting a Baron Rush or something. They think we're going to win the team fights, we're going to protect our objectives. You aren't going to get the objectives besides for the ones we let you, and the only ones we're going to let you have are the Earth Drakes. And Avalonic, again, slingshotting too short and not being able to stick onto Flirt Alert, which means that Flirt Alert, using the flash, is going to escape with his life.
Travesty had a chance there for a really risky but high-impact play.
Avalonic might not miss this elastic slingshot, though, as he gets a 3-man elastic slingshot. Let's bounce back to his team, and that will be the shockwave coming out, securing the kill on Travesty. Oh, Ship, what up, getting taken really low. Does get the dunk, but it's not enough to secure the kill on Asmus. Amumu is in the backline, killing targets, and that will be a double kill for taking a stroll, but he took a stroll right back into the enemy team. Condemned away, but walking back in instead of trying to escape. That will be a kill secured again, and that is a 5 for 0. The Elder Drake will be useful here as they are going to go onto the Baron.
5 for 2, but yeah.
What did I say? 5-0?
You said 5-0.
Oh yeah, definitely not that. But Amumu did go in the back line and get 2 squishies, which is really good. But
Yeah. And I want to see how Taco Bell does here. They're successfully converting into Baron, but now they need to convert this Baron into towers. And that's the important part. They need to watch how Taco Bell plays this Baron power play, because if they play this well, they can completely turn the game on its head. But if they don't, they more or less just wasted every advantage they just got. So it's really up to them to be proactive and push forward now.
I want to say something. Avalonic dragged a Darius point blank into his carries. Yes, he did take Travesty with him, but you're taking a Darius right into an Orianna melee range. That's not really what you want to be doing. It did cost 2 kills.
Orianna
huh?
was on the other side of the wall, so it wasn't right on top of the Orianna.
Yeah, but it was fairly close.
Yeah,
and
it
he
was.
did get the 5 bleed stacks, which allowed the Noxian Guillotine, which didn't finish him off, but that allowed taking a Stroll to finish off the kill. So, I mean, it worked out there because of the rest of the decisiveness in the team fight from his whole team. But if he pulls a Darius in and they aren't able to completely melt him fast enough, and that Darius is able to get the Noxian Guillotine kill and then keep resetting, plus getting heal from the Decimate, that could completely be a different fight.
Yeah, I think once What Up finishes this Dead Man's Blade here, it will mean a different fight if that ever happens again, because I think that third item will give him enough tankiness to continue on here. Now, he did go for the Black Cleaver this game instead of the Trinity Force, so that's an interesting adaptation here. Not sure how I feel about it, because there's not a whole lot of armor on the other side, just a Sunfire Cape and a Chain Vest. Plus the Zonias, which is more or less nothing when you look at Asmus. So, interesting adaptation here, but it does mean the bleed stacks will shred armor themselves because they are physical damage. So, interesting to see how he's going to use that going forward.
I generally like the build that this Darius went for.
Yeah.
I think the Spirit Visage is definitely really good.
Definitely.
I think the Merc Treads are a very viable choice.
A lot of the CC he's against are knock-up and slows, though, so he's not really going to be getting rid of too many stuns besides, like, Vayne Condemn. And it does help against slows as well, but, you know, Ninja Tabi would be another choice if he wanted to really just, you know, focus 2 armor items on the Vayne, the boots, and then, like, a Dead Man's, and then just build straight MR. But either way, it's definitely, you know, he's not, like, misbuilt or anything. It's this very small, like, potentially you could have done this sort of things. And I think that this Darius has a lot of gold from all that CS that he has. So he's still a very big threat.
Definitely.
And just getting that completed Dead Man's is going to allow him to stick even harder. Just run straight into that enemy team.
Yeah, and it gives him extra damage too. Hooray! So, What Up is going to have a lot of power here.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a look at exactly how much has come out of Taco Bell's Baron, because it is going to be ending rather soon here.
Yeah,
they were able to pick up a bot tower. Did they have mid tower previous to this?
They did already.
Yeah, so they were able to pick up 1 tower and a dragon off of that.
I mean, it's not a giant, you know, like, great Baron. They didn't get 2+ towers. They didn't get an inhibitor. But at least they get some more gold for their team. At least they get another dragon. That does give them combat stats, like, or, you know, helps them with sieging or defending. So it's not, like, it's not perfect. It's, you know, not what they would exactly want, but it's not something that we can complain about and say that was bad. You shouldn't have Baroned there.
Yeah, one thing I also want to point out is that the gold lead has close to about 1,000, still in favor of REEE, but it is only 1,000, and at 30 minutes, that's not anything. So it's a good job for Taco Bell to be able to bring the gold lead back, but can they continue to capitalize on it? Because this is a good start, but they're going to need to continue to push forward, because What Up's just going to keep getting stronger, Travesty's going to keep getting stronger, and Frupp is going to keep getting stronger. So they really, really need to keep capitalizing.
Yeah, and I want to say that This game is very close right now. It's basically neck and neck. Unlike last game where REEE had a very strong foot in the door, this game is basically either team's game to take. And any little thing could possibly change how this game goes now. If Travesty gets caught out, that could be, you know, what loses the game for them. If Asmus gets caught out, that could be what loses the game. If any slight misplays or any misrotations happen, they could be game-changing at this state.
This is the kind of game where I just want to stare at it and figure it out in my head. This kind of game is difficult to cast simply because you don't want to interrupt the flow of the game. You just want to focus on it because it's so incredibly
Intense,
nail-bitingly close. But do you see a bit of a grouping here by REEE? What are they?
This is actually kind of... I actually think they're making a proper rotation. They need to send O ship to the bot lane, and they need to just shut out this top lane. And even if they lose the bottom tower and get the top tower, this is good for them because Baron is up in 120. They want to make sure that they are grouped for this Baron. Now, they need the Darius to split push with the teleport. And, I mean, they don't need to be here immediately, right? But it looks like they're just going to try to trade towers, which isn't really an immediate benefit. But if they can keep this split push going, although O ship is grouped with them, it looks like this is very weird. There's 3 people defending and 2 people pushing. And this is actually maybe really bad for, what, teleport is canceled? Oh my god, inhibitor is being taken. What is going on?
This is bad. This is very,
really,
very
really bad.
REEE.
Yes, REEE is getting completely just... They just lost an inhib for nothing. That is not ideal whatsoever. Baron spawning in 30 seconds. Now, if O-Ship can get these kills, maybe they can secure a Baron. But he might be getting killed himself as he gets taken out. That means that this is a 4v5 if there is a potential Baron. There is no teleport either as the tower was taken and the teleport was cancelled. This has just completely... This is exactly what we were talking about. Any little thing. This is a very big thing. A lot of little things adding up, and now look at this. Inhibitor gone. Turret gone. Darius gone. Baron up in 3 seconds.
This could very easily be a Baron for Taco. A second Baron for Taco would mean tremendous things for them. They will definitely be able to push that advantage that they've created with that open inhibitor.
Yeah.
They're gonna play it safe here.
Well, I mean, they could do this Baron. It's 5v4, and Darius has no TP, no way to get there. And, you know, also their Zac has a level advantage for the smite. Plus, they have a bot, you know, a bot wave pushing in with super minions. So really, they can, I mean, they should be playing around Darius not having a teleport right now. They know he doesn't because they saw it channeled. So, with Victor bot lane, it looks like they're grouping up now. And Victor will have no way to get there. They have number advantage as long as there isn't any crazy outplays or crazy misplays. This is looking really good for Taco Bell eSports.
Now, one thing to bear in mind here is that Jujavon needs to be on this and stay on this for continuous DPS, because if he doesn't, the rest of his team does not have enough damage to burst this down significantly.
Karma using the Mantra
he is gonna
E
be
means
there.
that if there's a fight, there's going to be no Mantra E shielding. But it looks like they don't need it as they are taking a stroll, forcing him to flash. And double pink ward in the pit, a little strange. But they have enough money because they just got another Baron. And they are going for this top tower as well. And another Drake is spawning, an air Drake, in 40 seconds or so. So, objectives opening up for them. The map opening up for them. Gold going in their favor now. And this is starting to look a lot like Christmas. No, this is starting to look a lot like Taco Bell eSports game.
Yeah, this is
Christmas for them, I guess.
Taco playing very, very well, but REEE has been making mistake on mistake. Ever since I'd say about 10 minutes ago, they've just been compounding their errors on top of each other, which is a really bad thing to be doing, obviously. Like, they were playing their early game fairly decently. Once they got over the early kills on Travesty, they were really starting to pull ahead again, as was expected, and really starting to pull ahead before you say it, god darn it.
Oh, ship though is going a little aggressive, not deciding to stick on that though, as his team is nowhere near, besides for Flirt Alert, of course. And now there is an air dragon up, so that's an objective they could take, but it looks like they just want to utilize this bear and go for mid lane. But taking a stroll, flash bandage, flash curse to the side mummy, only getting Asmus. But the Galio hero's entrance knocks up some people. Complete chaos right now. But Jujavon hiding in the back, trying to keep Oship what up from killing everything. And that Darius got a lot of healing. Is he going to stay up though? He does not. This Travesty is taking out members. Is he going to get Jujavon? Oh, this is really close. Jujavon does not get taken out though by Travesty. He has a lot of lifesteal, but is very low. And there's 3 low members. And they really need to be careful that that Lucian does not clean this up.
That healing on What Up was quite entrancing, gotta say.
Yeah, and you know, I really like that Taco Bell Esports decided to back off there. They got a better fight. They have wave shoving in, so they're going to get another tower off of this. Plus, they could maybe even get the dragon if they want to go for that. And this is really good for them, because if they try to overchase that, Frup has the outplay potential as a Lucian. Then there was 2 low health members and a Zac who doesn't really provide that much DPS. He could have just popped that Vayne. There's no more way to kill him, and he could just clean up the other 2 members. So they play it slow. Jujavon backs, heals up. Then they go to take down 2 towers mid plus an inhibitor. There's minions flooding the base right now. They're going to get a free dragon, clear out the whole jungle, and hopefully just choke this game out. And this looks like it might end in a tie with Taco Bell Esports taking game number 2.
This is a very strange sort of situation here that's happened with Taco Bell being able to turn this around so effectively. I'm honestly pretty surprised at them, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
I want to say
it's really nice how well they've been playing.
Yeah, I want to say Oship had a good lane again, right? But the impact he had has been much lower than last game because Mikkelsen is able to just protect people like crazy as the Galio. He's just able to hero's entrance onto someone, prevent them from getting bursted down by Travesty, and then just goes in and causes havoc with the Zac from Avalonic, and then, you know, Asmus as well following up with those double tanks. They have so much damage, just, you know, and CC that just brings targets so low that Jujavon is able to clean up and just consistently DPS people down.
Yeah, one thing I want to comment on here is What Up picking up the adaptive helm.
Yeah.
The adaptive helm doesn't really work that well against the team he's facing because it's a counter DPS item. It reduces, for anyone who doesn't know, it reduces the damage taken by the same magic damage source used consecutively on you. So for instance, if Amumu was on the opposing team and was continuously using the W on you, it would reduce the damage from each tick of the W. However, the magic damage champions on the side of Taco Bell are all burst magic damage champions. They're not DPS in any way.
I mean, Oriana Q is the only thing really, but I'm pretty sure he would rather get an armor item for the Vayne, because that's really what's doing the damage.
Yeah, I think a Thorn Mail would have worked well there, or even a Frozen Heart would have been very nice.
Maybe a Randuin's too. Oh my, but he doesn't need a Randuin's to kill Mikkelsen.
No fruits for you!
Yeah, and this is actually an opening now for REEE to get back in. They have some time. They have about a minute until Mikkelsen is back up, but Mikkelsen does have globals, so when that minute is up, he will immediately be ready to be there. But yeah,
Be careful though.
Oh, bandage toss into Curse of the Side Mummy. 2 people locked down, but no team in sight. Uses the Gargoyle Stone Plate to make sure he does not get melted by the Vayne. And Fruff taken super low, out of position, gets crit, dead. Jujavon picks that kill up, and now they are chasing down 3 low health members. Flash is used by Travesty, and that is a travesty as, oh, Jujavon got another auto reset. His Q will be up in a second, and he's going to be chasing this down. He can crit these members and kill them so quickly. He doesn't have too much crit, to be fair. And it wasn't I don't know if it was a crit that killed, but, oh, taking a stroll, getting locked down again, and Jujavon flashing in. Was that a flash that they used right there or before? I can't recall. He gets a kill, though. Tower already taken, and Mikkelsen is right here. I can't even breathe anymore. He will get stunned, but it looks like this is going to be game. as there are super minions flooding the base. Second Nexus tower taken out. Open Nexus, and it's going to be auto-attacked to death as Taco Bell eSports takes game number 2 to tie it up against My Eyes REEE.
It was a very, very well played second half of the game by Taco Bell there. They were able to turn around what looked like a pretty massive gold lead. Not as massive as it was the previous game, but they came back and adapted very, very well from game 1, and they let Travesty have his Victor, and they just, shut it down. And even though he eventually did build up a very strong base for his Victor, he wasn't able to have the same impact he was the previous lane. And even Wada, who was doing tremendous in that top lane, was still not able to have the kind of impact he had the first game either, which is very, very important. And Jujavon coming up huge on this Vayne, as we all would expect a Vayne to do once you hit that late game phase. I think that we talked about how, Vayne's not something we see in Learning 5's a lot because coaches are kind of leery of it. But Jujevon has definitely proved that he knows how to play a late game Vayne. And it certainly helped Taco Bell here. So well played to Taco Bell for being able to tie that up.
Yeah. And with that, that will be all for today, as that was game 2, and this is a best of 2. But tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have another show match, an NA show match. I cannot recall the team names off the top of my head. It will be Team Skirm versus Delta Airlines. Oh, gosh. And that will be tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it should be a pretty interesting game. I believe the all the matches this week were fairly high elo. So hopefully we'll see you then. But that has been all. I am Tiersona. I have been joined by Can Opener Dude today. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon.